Don't compete. Competition is always injurious to the species, and you have plenty of resources to avoid it. I love this quote because I have always hated competition, and I used to think that something was wrong with me. I thought that this was a mentality of being a loser if I didn't want to compete against others. To me, competition has always put much pressure on me. I felt like I had to perform a certain way, and I would always look at other people and be like, oh, and compare myself to them. And it was never helpful in any areas of life at all. Even if I tried to use people as a point of reference, that would usually still make me less likely to succeed in a certain area of life. And let me give you an example. When I started aerial yoga, here's my yoga hammock, I felt like I had to do just as well as the rest of the participants, and they were mostly pretty flexible. And I am a very inflexible person. I have pretty long limbs, arms and legs, and I was told by the instructor that because of my long legs and arms, it would be harder for me to stretch and become as flexible as the other folks. And I took it personally, and I thought, well, why am I not as flexible as them? And I put in a lot of effort into trying to become just as flexible as people who were shorter and generally had shorter limbs, and I would feel inferior to them because I wasn't able to stretch as easily as them. And what all it did was that it made my progress more painful to me, because I would not look at how much I achieved. I would always look at how much I didn't achieve compared to others. And that's just one very simple example of how unnecessary competitiveness and comparison can hurt your own performance. So competition creates unnecessary stress and may contribute to anxiety in some individuals. When I abandoned the idea of competitiveness, I found that I was progressing much more rapidly in the areas of life where I wanted to grow. I also noticed that I was focusing on the process more instead of paying attention to others. And overall, I do not believe that the spirit of competitiveness is conducive to collaboration and cooperation. And I think that we can help each other grow in all our own unique ways. So I urge everyone to look into the nature of their competitiveness and to see if it comes from a healthy place. I believe that competitiveness is created by the capitalist world we live in, and I don't think that it is ever helpful to us. You can examine your own motivations and see if competitiveness is worth it to you, and maybe you'll find out that you don't want to compete against anyone. Instead, you may find out that you want to work with people and collaborate and help each other mutually.